This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so if you are already tagged in a project, let's say, or you'll be going in for an interview, or let's say you are given a project now, so you'll be struggling with each and every step, what to do, how to do, how. So all those questions will be answered with this course, and you will be able to execute it properly. Now the question is how we are going to do it. Okay, so let's see how we'll be doing that. So this is a little brief about the course introduction, that okay, this is what we are going to do. We have talked about who are going to get most benefit from this course. So tools that we are going to use, so LoadRunner for creating the scripts. Then we have Dynatrace for that is a APM tool that we'll be using for doing the analysis. While running the test, we'll be doing the analysis, and we'll be going a little bit deeper in the Dynatrace tool. That okay, fine. If when I'm running a test, there are a lot of configurations that needs to be done. Okay, so how to do that configuration, how to create the dashboards and all. So we'll be seeing that. Then we have Grafana. So Dynatrace is a paid tool. Okay, so there is a possibility that in your projects as well as in your interviews will be asked that okay, fine, I cannot afford this tool, it's an expensive tool. So one open source tool also you should know. So for that purpose we have included Grafana. It's a open source tool, and you can use it. So how to use Grafana when you are in a project and you need to use a good monitoring tool. So Grafana will come into the picture. Then project management comes into the picture, that when you are working on a large scale, okay, and there are multiple parties are involved, then timely updating all the documents, and communication will become crucial. So how to do a project management? So we'll be using Confluence. Then there's one Postman. So in the end, I'll talk about Postman. So when we'll be using Postman for that. Okay. So how, the question was how we are going to do. So first of all, we'll understand the what is the performance testing life cycle. Okay, performance testing life cycle is just not this. Okay, I learned. Okay, if you're new asked, okay, I will explain these steps now. What are the steps are involved? Think we'll be understanding it logically. Okay, that okay fine, if someone has to do it, how he is going to do it, and we'll be using some real time examples to understand. Okay, even if let's say that it's not a performance project and I have to do, I have like I have to do execute a project. Okay, what are the challenges that will come up? Then we'll be putting the boundaries and subsiding in a different subtopics, and then we'll be understanding okay what is performance in life cycle. Then once that is done, so if you look at it, this demo, so each day we'll be spending on each topic. Okay, so day one will be talking entirely about performance life cycle only. Okay, the next day we'll be talking about performance walkthrough. So it can happen that you'll be in a project in which sometimes client already know that okay what is performance testing, and sometimes client doesn't know what is performance testing. So you have to explain it to them that okay, what this is what performance testing is, this is how I'm going to improve your system. Okay, so you need to have a performance testing walkthrough in which you will be explaining how and when you need to incorporate performance testing and how it will improve your system. So we'll be going through that. Okay, how to do that. Once that is done, we'll be understanding the NFR, okay, non-functional requirement gathering, how it happens, what are the things are involved, what are the steps are involved, what are the details that you need to capture. Okay, what are the right questions that you need to ask in this stage. Okay, so all those things will be understanding that this step is really crucial. Okay, because in this step only you will be defining your scope. So performance testing scopes are defined at this stage, so your managers leads will be there. Okay, so we'll understand how they basically define that boundary. Okay, this is what we are going to do and this is what we'll be giving in the end of the test. Okay, when the testing, all the testing is done, this is what the expectation is from the performance testing team or the non-functional team. Okay, so we'll be understanding that and how to do that. Okay, asking the right question is very important. The client doesn't know or might have a little bit of idea about performance testing. Okay, so they're having performance issues, they reach out to you, and so it is your responsibility to make them understand and help them in the best possible way. Okay, then questionnaire together. Okay, so you need, apart from defining the scope, you need a lot of data, right? Application data, server data, in order to start your performance testing. Okay, so we'll see that how we'll be doing that. Okay, next is application knowledge. So for this we are using an application called MFS. Okay, this is a demo application created by Isha. Okay, so it's a e-wallet application. Okay, so we'll be doing performance testing on this application. It's a live application. Uh, so we'll be creating multiple scenarios and we'll be testing it. The good thing about this web application is, let me close this. Okay, so if you look at here, there are a lot of things like if you look at just, we have written this also, that this application can be used for learning performance testing like LoadRunner, Jmeter. So apart from learning what is there in a performance testing and the things that we are going to learn in terms of scripting, also you'll have good practice on this application, because we have encoded base 64 encoding, then plain to URL encoding, then security question handling, token that is like more than default value. Okay, these things have been intentionally put in so that in order to you get a good scripting experience. Okay, so and knowledge wise also you will be able to handle if you're getting these challenges in your real time project. Okay, so you will be able to handle that, so that these things have been put in. Then we have this application. Okay, so we'll have an application walkthrough. So we'll understand the application. Okay, so we'll understand what is this application is all about. Then we'll have a detailed architecture. So how this application has been developed. Okay, how this application has been developed, we'll be understanding that. Okay, that and we'll be understanding each and every detailed. Okay, like there are some 10 components involved. So there is API gateway, there is proxy, there is firewall. What is their role? How, what job they are doing? Okay, we'll be going in detail understanding the architecture. Let's say that the moment you hit your request from your load runner to the response that you're getting in a loader, let's say in browser also, that when I'm hitting this Isha Training Solution.com in your browser and you're getting this response, how your request travel over internet, what went into the server, how it got processed, how did you get the response, we'll be understanding everything. Okay, so for that a little bit understanding of your application architecture is also needed. So we'll be understanding that it is expected from projects also. So let's say you have given a project. In that project you are doing a testing of the application. It should not be like that, okay, I'm just running a script from I've created a load on a script and then I'm just putting in a controller getting the response time. No, that is not the right way. You should have application understanding, so that in order to improve a system I should know the system, right? So that is very crucial. So we'll be doing that as well in our project. Okay, next is test plan creation. We'll be seeing that how test plans are created. We have 2 3 samples. Okay, test plan creation is like planning in advance that okay, these are the activities that I need to do. Okay, so we have some 2 3 samples. Okay, but the idea remains the same, the general idea remains the same. So we'll see the idea and then we'll see some samples, that how different samples can be created. So that is about test plan. Once that is done, we'll be understanding the volumetrics. Okay, so I say that 100 users are using this application. Okay, so how do I design the scenario? Okay, let's say I want to test the merchant. Let's say we'll understand this, what is this merchant rule, fee and taxes. Just if put in a simple word, let's say there are 10 components in an application and there is some certain user base. Now how do you decide that how much users will be put in what section? Okay, what should be the my user load, or how much with the, or let's say how much TPS I should be running, which module. So all those things, okay, all those things, all those questions will be answered in this particular section, which is workload modeling. Okay, so we'll be discussing that how volumetrics are designed. Okay, how user load distribution is done. Okay, so we'll be discussing this and understanding for this application. So we have certain user base for this application. We'll be distributing it and we'll be logically going, okay, this is how it should be. Okay, what are the questions that you should ask? Okay, because this information is with the client. Okay, you need to get this information on the ground. Sometimes the clients will know, you will tell, okay, test this application with this much user base, test this application with this much TPS. That's okay. Okay, but sometimes clients say, okay, I don't know, I have this much user concurrent user base, what should be the distribution as a performance tester, can you please suggest something? So how to do that? Okay, because you need to ask right questions, okay, and make a sense out of it. It's like a raw data that you have to make a sense out of it and quantify it in a number. Okay, so we'll see that how we'll do that. Then the next thing is performance business transition for document. Okay, so you have created the scenarios. Let's say 10 modules are there, you've got 10 scenarios. What are the things that you're going to do? What should be your flow? Okay, well, we record our scripts, right? So the, let's say, login log out. Okay, launching login log out. That is the way you have created one scenario. Okay, so how do you decide? And once you have decided, okay, so I know that this script, okay, I've created a scenario, I've created a script, but let's say that I have moved out of the project, or okay, something happened. Now someone who is coming new and he is struggling. So it is always advised, and as a best practice, you should create a document. What is the flow of this application, you should document it. And so we'll be doing that as well. And we'll see how these documents are basically created. Okay, so by this stage you'll have a good understanding about the process. So by this time we'll be like test plan is also done, test design development is also done. Okay, so now script creation will come up. So before this, what I always do is a little bit of recap of our load runner. Okay, so we'll have one session, okay, in which we'll be giving a kind of a revision for a load runner. Okay, so we'll be understanding what is load runner. Okay, then how to finalize the tool. This question is very important, that in a project, how do you say that, okay, I need load runner, I need Jmeter, I need Leo load, all these different testing tools are there, right? So how do you take a call that, okay, I should be using this tool? So we'll be understanding that. Then why load runner? Okay, the benefits of LoadRunner we'll see, and then a simple like what are the components are there. Then we have LoadRunner. Okay, then we have controller. Then we have analysis. A little bit of recap of that. Okay, and what I usually do, I have one deck prepared which cover almost everything which is there in LoadRunner. Okay, so if we'll have a quick, I'll be asking questions from you since it is expected that you know LoadRunner. If you lack somewhere, I'll just fill all those spaces. Okay, so that we'll be doing in that session. Once that is done and our script our business scenarios are also confirmed, so we'll be working on the script. So scripts are already created. I will give you the scenario. You'll have some 2 3 days so you can work on the script. Okay, so let's say somebody is struggling with it. Okay, so we'll be discussing that. So in one session we'll have one session in which we'll be discussing only the challenges that someone is facing, and there are a few things that are there that I will be discussing it. So these are the five six things that you can see. So these things I have done it. The scripts are already created. I have created it. Okay, I'll be sharing that with you if someone is struggling. If someone has created, if they are struggling with some section, we can discuss that, and we can fix that as well. But these things, I don't think you will be incorporating in your script. So I have been put in forcefully so that in terms of scripting also we should get some good knowledge. So I'll be showing these five things, six things which is needed. So then we will be using VTS in this. Okay, virtual table server, because we have a data dependency here, because user ID password cannot be same, it should be different every time. So for that we'll be learning, okay, what is VTS, how to incorporate VTS, and we'll be using VTS in our projects. Okay, so we'll see that. Then security question handling, then token. The token is some token, some captured some token. Okay, or let's say you captured a parameter which value is coming more than default 256. How to handle that? Then if you're having 401 access issues, then plain to URL encoding, then how to handle dynamic body handling, all these things we'll see. Okay, once the by this stage will our scripts will be completed. Okay, our scripts will be completed. So we'll be moving on to, okay, so we'll be doing a small dry run. Okay, so dry runs like let's say I've created a scripts. Okay, and you need to check, okay, that okay they are working fine before the test, right? So you need to do a dry run. So we'll see how to do those dry runs. Okay, once that is done, we'll be doing one session especially on Dynatrace. Okay, so because Dynatrace is the main tool that we'll be using to analyze all the errors that are coming up. So you should have a good understanding. So people who know only Dynatrace, that's a plus for them. But there are people, and most of the people don't know Dynatrace. So we'll be spending some good 2 3 days. Okay, it's written only one day, but from experience, I have to spend some good 3 days at least on Dynatrace itself. Okay, so I have Dynatrace here. So you can see here there are a lot of things. Okay, so there are a lot of things are there in the Dynatrace that you need to learn. Okay, so we'll be creating dashboards. So as of now there is none, so I'll be creating it. By default there are some dashboards that will be shown, but yeah, we'll be creating our own custom dashboard which a person should be needed. So let's say I have 10 things to monitor when I'm running a test. I need to monitor 10 things. I cannot open 10 different windows. Okay, and monitor it becomes little difficult when you are monitoring the test. Okay, so how to create a dashboard, what are the things that you should choose when you're using Dynatrace, and when you're running the test. Okay, then there are certain settings that needs to be done. Okay, certain configurations that needs to be done on a Dynatrace side. Okay, and our script also will be doing some changes in our script. So what will happen, that all the hits, basically all the hits that you are doing from your load runner, we'll be able to filter it out in our Dynatrace. Okay, so certain settings need to be done. We'll be seeing that. Okay, and apart from that, we'll have a good hands-on in terms of analysis, that okay, find how to use Dynatrace to do the analysis. Okay, that is very crucial. So we'll be sending some good 2 3 days to understand this. Okay, now once that is done, will not be doing any installation. Okay, how to do installation and all will already be done. Okay, but you will have your own access. Okay, you will have your own access. You can I mean, you'll be sharing your Gmail ID, so we'll be sending the access. You can access it, and you can check it, or during the test also. During the test, it's not that I'll be, okay, so when I'm teaching it for this session, it is advisable to see what I'm teaching okay, see the screen and practice it later. But when I'm running the test, it is expected from you that should you are checking from your end and sending it in the live class, and I'll be checking on the screen sharing. So that is how it should be. Okay, so we'll be doing that. Then some metrics configuration. Okay, this is for the dashboard creation that we'll be doing. So basic metrics, okay, we'll be getting much more. Okay, I have like not written everything that will be creating it, but yeah, this is a basic metric that someone needs to be monitoring when they are running the test. And then LoadRunner. Okay, so Dynatrace LoadRunner request tracking. So this is how we track it. Okay, we filter out all the requests that is getting generated from our LoadRunner. So we'll be doing that. Okay, so okay, so Dynatrace is done. Okay, Dynatrace is done, but again, it's a paid tool. Okay, it's expensive paid tool. So what about other tools? So Grafana. So how do we use Grafana? Okay, so we'll be seeing that. Okay, how can we use Grafana to monitor the basic metrics, not the advanced. Okay, we have not enabled any level, but yeah, basic monitoring is possible with the Grafana with the current setting that we have. So we'll be seeing that how we'll be doing that. Okay, once that is done, we'll be running three types of tests. So we'll be running load test, scalability test, endurance test. Okay, people who are confused that okay, what are these? So don't worry. So in our, I think, performance life cycle only or walkthrough, by this time you will be clear, because see, you don't know, so clients also don't know. I'm also hoping so. When I think this is not that deck. Okay, so okay, this is a different deck. So we'll be in this performance walkthrough, we'll be explaining each and every type of testing, and with that testing what will we achieve. Okay, so let's say you have a situation. Why do you do endurance testing? Why do you do escalator testing? Why do you do a load test? All those questions will be answered, so you'll have a good understanding. Okay, and we'll talk about that test as well. But yeah, in terms of scope of this course or this project, we'll be doing these three tests. So load test, scalability test, and endurance test. Okay, so load test. Okay, so load test we'll be designing the scenario. Okay, in controller, that how to design this scenario. How do you decide what should be the ramp up? Okay, how much should be the steady state? What should be the ramp down? All these things we'll be discussing it. Okay, once that is done, then we'll be doing our script execution. Okay, now from past experience, it is not that okay, I today will be running a test. So in real time project, what happens that you have run a test, okay, and the results are very poor, very poor. So you have to run another round of tests. So in our past batch, what we had to do, we had a similar situation. Okay, so we had a lot of failures. I mean, we'll be defining our SLAs right in this step in our NFR. So and if our SLA breached actually, okay, with a large margin, so we have to do a second round of testing also. So eh, so it's not mandatory that okay, we'll run one test, and if the results are good, we will be moving ahead. But if it's very poor, then we have to do another round of testing also. Okay, then monitoring it. Okay, how to monitor it, we'll be seeing. Okay, how to monitor the test. Okay, how to analyze the errors that are coming up and how to highlight them. Then server monitoring for Dynatrace, same thing we'll be doing for scalability test and endurance test. Okay, so I think hardly 4 days, 4 or 5 days will go in this one only. Okay, once that is done, we'll be seeing how to create the test reports. Okay, so after that, each test will be dropping one mail. Okay, so let's say you are in a project and you have done some testing. Now everybody knows that okay, performance team is or NFT team is doing some kind of testing. So they be expecting right that on a high level, what happened? Was it a success? What is the failure? So they want to know that. So how do we do that? So we drop one mail, high level mail, highlighting whether the text I mean, what is the overall system performance, whether that it's a failure, it's a success. Because see, we'll immediately know from the we have defined our SLAs, right? Okay, that okay, the failure should not be more than this, or the response time should be below that, all those metrics. So we can monitor this on a high level, and a deep dive analysis can be saved for later. Okay, but a high level we can share it. So how do we share all those things? How do we highlight those things? So we'll be seeing that. And after that, how to create a final test reports. Okay, a full length test reports. How do we create that? So we'll be seeing that. And then how to, I mean, we'll see okay, how to analyze. Okay, so from Dynatrace we'll be getting a lot of information. Okay, in terms of we'll be getting a lot of information, how to basically uh, the errors that you have found out, how to share those information. So we'll be seeing that. Then creating a test, executive test summary. Okay, that okay, if, whether this test is successful or the test is a failure, we'll be seeing that. Now once that is done, the question comes up that let's say testing is done, everything is done. Okay, now there are there's a possibility that you are doing the test for the second time, and there's a possibility that you have learned it for the first time. Okay, then you have to document all those things as a lesson learned. Okay, so how to document that? That let's say you have learned something new, so how to document that, we'll be seeing that. And then it comes the updating the required document in the central repository. So we'll be using Confluence. So if I can show you, okay, there you go. So, and if our document are, so all the document is the that is needed basically. So you can have a look here. So test result, uh, scripts, flow document, workload modeling, all those things. So this everybody has in a relevant project. What will happen? Your test manager or the development leads, all those people will have there, because they have some deployment. Okay, and they want to get it. They want to check the timelines. Okay, at what time testing team will be closing their scripting, all those things. So in order to take the call, or in order to keep everything managed, or someone who is like a program lead, he wants to manage all the things that are happening. So he wants to see whether the performance is staying on the right track or not. So uh, some kind of platform where the tracking can be done is needed. So this is one of the ways. Okay, and repository also point of view, this is very important, so that if I leave, or let's say I've moved to a different project, someone else will come up and they just refer the document, then they'll know. Okay, that what are the things that happened in this project. Okay, so then how to approach, I mean, what are the questions that you need to ask in terms of what is to do, in terms of what is next for this project. Okay, so it's not that the testing has been done closed. Okay, so when the application develop, a continuous deployment will keep on happening. Okay, so when a major deployment is there, it is expected to do another round of testing, so that because there will be a major change in the code, or let's say in an infrastructure side also you have done some major changes. So how to ask them and how to highlight them the need of performance testing. Okay, in the future, so we'll be discussing that. So this will end the performance testing project, as in that okay, sign off will happen. This is last step in any performance testing project. When the sign off is done, will you'll be by the end of this, by the end of this day, or you say step, you'll know. Okay, you'll know end to end, okay, how a performance testing projects are executed, how a performance testing, or what are the challenges that will come up in a performance testing project, how to handle them. Okay, so you'll have a very good understanding by this time. Okay, so there are few additional bonus topics that we have covered. Okay, that we have covered. So first thing is advanced load on a question. So we'll have one session. So this is a bonus topics. Okay, so this is for the people who are basically preparing for the interview. So we'll be discussing few questions. Okay, good question, load on a questions that that I will ask, that if I have taken an interview. Okay, difficult questions, so that to know that person really knows the thing. Then we have a performance testing case studies. Okay, so what will happen that people say, okay, fine, I'm doing the testing. Okay, I'm sharing the result, but how do you improve the system? So we have some, I've created some 5 6 case studies, that what is the client requirement that came in. Okay, what are the things that a performance testing team has done, and how it improved the system. Okay, I have created some 5 6 case study. One second, if I can show you. Mm, yeah. So if you can see a business requirement solution delivered and the benefit. So this there was a issue for which the client has come up saying, okay, fine, I have a issue. So and the performance testing team looked at the issue and said, okay, fine, we are going to approach this problem in this way, and we're going to do this kind of testing. Okay, and then how that testing has helped to improve the system performance, or the save the cost. Okay, I mean, save cost saving is basically, if the hardware is optimized, there is no need for hardware expansion, so cost is saved. Okay, so how it was done. So we have some case studies which you can, I mean, uh, needed for understanding the importance of performance testing, as well as you can use in interviews, that is your choice. Okay, then basic SQL Linux commands for the performance tester. So this is for the people who are basically no, I mean, the level at which I'll be teaching this is very low. This is for the reason is that this has been incorporated for the people who are basically from 980. So I had like in my previous batch also that people were there from 980, and they got into a project. Okay, they worked really hard and they got the job, but they were struggling with the because in the project a basic SQL requirement was there or Linux requirement was there. They were struggling with it. So what my intention is with this particular topic is to give you an idea. Okay, how what is SQL, how the basic structure of the SQL, how the commands are basically created. Okay, and if a command is given to you, you should be able to read and understand. Okay, what query I'm going to, what things I'm going to pull. If you have to create, okay, basic query that you should be able to create. Then Linux command, okay, basic format of Linux command, how to format, how to write a basic we'll be seeing few basic commands, okay, which is necessary that you should know. Okay, but apart from that, how a Linux command is created. And let's say that we cannot learn every command. So let's say you know that, okay, fine, there's some command like this. So how do I use that knowledge and learn that, okay, fine, I can create this command. So there are a lot of helps that has been given in Linux itself. So we'll be seeing that how to use those help and getting our work done. So but after like what I will say that you will have a basic understanding and you'll have a good understanding about these two topics, so basic SQL and Linux. And once that is done, we'll be seeing creating SOWs. Okay, so SOW is like it's a statement of work. Okay, so again, this is a bonus topic. So this is usually for the leads and the managers. Okay, so they have to create this. So at the stage of NFR, once you have discussed, okay, this is the scope of a performance testing team, and this is the 10 things that we are going to do. Agreement needs to be signed, right? It cannot happen over the mail. So how SOWs are created. So if I can show you SOW. So this is a SOW, that is a sample SOW that I have created. So we'll see what are the steps. I mean, you can look at here. Purpose and scope, then key factor efforts, then methodology, staffing, support, cost is involved, right? Company is charging back for your resource. Okay, then how to calculate all the efforts, approval, I mean, what are the approvals are there. We'll be seeing that. So it's a good knowledge for the people. I mean, what happened? Okay, so this is a good knowledge for the people like who are on a performance tester level. Okay, so if I can show you. So if you are on the performance test specialist or a performance engineer level or a performance test engineer level, then this is okay. But yeah, mainly leads and managers are involved in this. But it's a good knowledge, so you can also share that. Okay, you might have like worked on draft document. You can tell them. So having a knowledge is always a plus. So it's good for you. Then it's a promotional thing only that we are doing that. Top 5 signups, I mean, people who sign up, top 5 signups that we have, will be taking their. Okay, so there is one more thing that we do before this session. There's one more session. Okay, I think I have to add it. So what we do, that one to one, so this one to one mock interview and feedback review, resume review for the first sign up. So this is our promotional offer that we are doing. So for the top 5 people who are there, we'll be taking one mock interview for them. Okay, again, they are sharing their resume, so we can pass the feedback. Okay, there's something not proper, let's say the articulation or the formatting that you have done. Okay, some people struggle with CVs also. They are applying like so many places, but they're not, the CV is not getting shortlisted. So we'll be seeing, okay, how can we can work on that. So there's one journal session that I'll be taking for everybody. Okay, so what I mean, how to create your proper resumes. Okay, what should be your approach in your interviews. Okay, what is that HR is expecting from you, what is that interviewer is expecting from you. All those things will be discussed. That is in general. Okay, in general that I'll be doing it. But yeah, for the photo, this first 5 people, that again I'm taking their interviews. So after the end of the interview, I'll be sharing those feedback one to one. So okay, so this is okay. Postman is left. So why Postman will be using, so we'll be seeing that. So Postman tool, it's a API client that we'll be using. So in interview, there's one type of question that I always ask people. Okay, so people usually don't know the answer of that, so we'll be discussing that. So in order to answer that question, we say okay, we'll be using this and this, but how? So we'll be creating those scripts. Okay, we'll be creating those scripts. Basically, to answer that question, you need to we'll be creating the answer that you have given, we'll be applying it practically. So in order to do that, we'll be using Postman, or even let's say that the flow that I have created, let's say I have to do a manual flow of it. Okay, so how do I create that manual flow? So we'll be using Postman to do that. So you'll be have a little bit of knowledge about Postman, that okay, how URLs have been, I mean, how a request is sent, received, and how a flow has been designed in a Postman. So we'll be seeing that as well. Okay, so this is for the project. I think I have covered most of it. If you have any doubts, you can let me know. I am most happy to answer all your questions. Anyone, any question?
Hello?
Yeah, so first, hello.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, so what is VTS like? Is it some sort of tool we are gonna use here?
It's a tool. It's a tool basically which is extension of your parameter file. So we have parameter files, right? So let's say given you, we have like data in this. So we are fetching data from that. Let's say you have data 1 lakh. Let's say we have 1 billion. Let's say we have 10 billion. Now imagine that you have 10 billion file. What is the size of that file? And if you put that in your parameter file, your loader, I mean, your loader itself will crash, right? So what we do, we take all that data and put it in a VTS. Okay, we host that on a virtual server, and we just fetch the data and send the data if we as per the need. So it basically reduce the overall size of the file, and it will become lightweighted, and the performance is little bit faster. So it is the extension of loader. It's a preparatory tool of the micro focus itself. You can download it, and we'll be using that because, and there are some perks also. Okay, so let's say you have
Mhm.
used some data in your parameter file, it will not go away from your parameter file, right? But with VTS that is possible. So you, if there's a condition that you should not use one data again and again, that gives us VTS gives us that flexibility, that okay, once the data is there used, it's gone from the table. So we'll see that VTS will be when the need is arise, no? Because when you are creating a scenario, we'll see one scenarios that creates this, I mean, this scenario. Okay, there's a dependency that you cannot use data in this particular format only. At that time I will introduce VTS and tell what is VTS, and we'll see, I mean, how to install, how to send data, how to receive data, all those things will be there covered. So no need to worry as of now.
And also, like normally when we are using LoadRunner or any performance, should we actually go for normally use some virtual generators like I mean virtual users using some AWS and all, right? What we gonna use over here? I mean in the training,
So
are you planning to
AWS,
use anything?
okay, so you are talking about the cloud. I mean, your system might be on the cloud platform, right? AWS. So ours is on-prem only. Ours is on-prem only. So we are using it's a CentOS. I mean, it's a Linux system. So we'll be seeing. Uh, I mean, there is one session that I take basically when we are doing the analysis, that how to capture the logs. So I mean, this is based on microservices. Okay, so we'll be seeing, okay, fine, if we are running the test. So if the errors are coming up, how to capture on the log level. I mean, on the microservices, we go into the pods, we see okay how to capture the logs, and that time we'll see a basic Linux, like we can. I mean, you don't need any APM tool as such. So let's say you have a Windows system. Okay, if I say, can you monitor the metrics in your Windows system? Yeah, there is a performance monitor. I can configure the metrics. I can monitor it. But what about Linux? So Linux also it is possible. Okay, I'll show you. But again, that is little bit tedious, and there are a lot of APM tools available in the market. So we are covering one paid tool, which is Dynatrace, very good tool, and then we are covering the Grafana also, which is a open source. So on-prem is free of cost only. You can use it, and I mean, anyone, any organization can use it. So we'll be having a hands on that.
Okay. And also, like while we record any what you call script, right? We normally get some unwanted stuff actually. Like when we are try to record any screen, we get all the details which are available in the page. But to what you call to have a proper script, we need to refine like delete
Hmm.
unwanted what do you call unwanted lines of code, right? So, uh, are we gonna cover them during the scripting part only?
So there are total 5 scenarios that we'll be creating for this MFS application. I'll be showing for first two scenarios. I mean, there's one easy scenario. I mean, and there is one most difficult scenario. So I'll be creating a script for those two scenarios, and in that session, you will like if you see those errors or anything, you can ask that. At that time, I'll clear it up. I mean that is a part of scripting. Okay, so how do you create those
Okay.
scripts? Yeah, so we'll cover that in that sessions.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else?
Okay, hello.
Yeah, hi, Raval.
Hi. So sorry I joined late. There was some other session. So
Okay,
are you going to cover the developer tools? Are we going to explore that also
correct,
to some degree?
correct. Yeah, I forgot to mention. Yeah, we'll be doing that. So it's very important. See, developer tool. See, I mean, if I can share my screen again. Okay, it's very. It's. I mean, that is. I mean, my hands will be cut if I don't use developer tool. Okay, because see a lot of times while scripting also while doing analysis also, let's say if I just reload this page. Okay, let's say I reload this page and I'm seeing all this. Okay, so in my Dynatrace I'm seeing that let's say this script only. Okay, so this particular comment JavaScript is taking time. Okay, how do I validate that? Okay, and that okay fine, this is the normal behavior. While running a test I'm saying that okay fine, I am saving high response time for this particular JavaScript. But how in actual does it take a real that much time? It is possible. It is possible. But how do you conclude that? Okay, and then understanding this. So I mean, there is one session that we take. Okay, think give me a 2 second. I'll show the tech to you. So all these things. Okay, if I say, can you explain what is all this? What is all this? I don't know. I mean, I'm saying that people say that I don't know. Okay, and there are requests also coming up. So if I can show you two headers, this 200. Okay, what sometimes you'll see 300 coming up, sometimes you see 400 coming up, sometimes you'll see 500 coming. What does it mean? Okay, how do you conclude? And what is this user agent is there? Okay, what are these headers are specifying, and what are relate? I mean, headers which is important to me, which are headers that are not important to me. So we'll be seeing that. Okay, and what are the information that you can get it from here? So developer tool, obviously it will be there, and then looking at the payload timings and all, we'll be seeing that will be covered. Okay, 1 second, let me.
And do you teach load runner basics?
No, load on you should know.
Okay.
Yeah, load on you should know. Where is the tech? Okay, anyone any question? I'm finding one deck actually.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Can we have a session on like AppDynamics, or so as we have a session on Dynatrace. So similarly, can we have a session on AppDynamics?
No,
That
for
is
the scope of this course, I mean, we are using Dynatrace only. We are not using AppDynamics. That is also a very good tool, but we'll not be using that.
okay. At least can we have a private session for at least 20-30 minutes, like after completion of Dynatrace, to discuss
I
whether
don't
how
have
to
the
apply.
access now. I don't have the access actually. So, I mean, we have not done the instrumentation on this as well as I don't have the access. So it will not be possible for this course. You can reach out to Kumar sir. See, I mean, I think they are getting used in different projects. He can help you in this. Maybe you can just check with him once. For this course, we'll be using Dynatrace. Okay, in terms of analysis, Okay, so if I can resume my sharing. So this is the architecture that I was talking about. Okay. No, no, this is the old one. Sorry. Okay. Okay, let me. So answering your question, so for this course, so we are using Dynatrace. That is the main tool that we'll be using. Then we'll be using Grafana. Then we'll be learning a little bit of in terms of on a pod level also, like on the Windows level, how to do the diagnostics. That is the scope of this project.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are we
Yeah.
expected to have a prior knowledge on LoadRunner?
correct.
What should be the minimum knowledge to attend this section?
So you should know LoadRunner in terms that what is the how to record, basically what should correlation, what is parameterization. We'll be doing the correlation parameterization. Okay, but at that time, like see, there are 10 peoples in my batch. Okay, and 9 people are very good with scripting. Very good, not they have a basic idea. So if I can show them, okay, this is the correlation and this is how you should do it. Okay, they should be able to understand that and do it. Okay, but if somebody is at that time is basically asking me, sir, what is LoadRunner, what is correlation, what do you mean by correlation, when do we do this, all these questions will come up. So it's not fair for other students as well. Okay, so
Okay.
basic knowledge is needed. It's basic knowledge. I hope you got the point, right? So basic
Yeah,
knowledge
yeah.
is needed. I'm not expecting that, okay, he should, like, if I can just show the flow, he'll be able to create the script. If that is again, that is a very good thing. Okay, but yeah, basic understanding is needed. And once the session in which I'll be creating the two scripts. Okay, all the scripts are very much similar. Okay, again, the basic is basic and the advanced is like most like that is where I played the most, creating a lot of things, okay, in that script. But yeah, if you are able to understand those scripts, you will be creating other three scripts as well on your own. And anyways, I'll be sharing them all the five scripts. So if you should be able to, like, open the script and see, okay, how what I have done. So that is the case.
Okay.
Hmm. Okay, next, anyone question?
What is the timetable for these classes?
Classes will be there from 8 to 9. Okay, so classes will be there
The
from
timings
8
I know, but the dates. I mean, in every week. So on which date will we have sessions?
Okay, so I'm I'm little I'm little okay. So the classes will be there from 8 to 9. That is the regular classes from Monday to Friday. Okay, but I always prefer to take weekend, I mean extra classes. Okay, and every
Okay.
batch I have done it. That is because what happens now, that I mean, if I'm, so usually it is defined, I've defined it 20 days. Okay, but usually it goes up to 27, 25 days. So that is what my from experience that I'm speaking, because sometimes people don't get it, so I have to explain it lot many times. Okay, so but yeah, weekends you can expect weekend classes as well, but yeah, it is in agreement with everyone. If everybody agrees, then only I take it. Otherwise it's a no. But mostly people agree. What from my experience, no, they are always, people are always open on the weekend class, because see,
One
today
second.
I have only one hour with you. In weekend it's like we can extend light a little bit, right? So everybody gets certified, people
What I'm
have
asking
doubts
is,
also. Yeah.
excuse me, sorry for that. So what I'm asking is, so Tuesday, Wednesday, I can't join from 8 to 9. Actually, I have some other work. So will there be sessions on Tuesday and Wednesday also?
Yeah, session will be there. You can watch the recording. If you have it out, you can ask me on the next upcoming class that you come. It is, I expect everyone to attend the classes. Let's say you're not attending the classes for any reason, make sure you watch the recording, and next day, when the class start, don't let me start before all your doubts are cleared. So that is the expectation that I set from you.
Okay, okay, no issues.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, can we
Yeah.
have the sessions on SOAP and REST API?
Uh, Sessions. There is no session. So when I'll be creating Postman, at that time I'll be talking of, I mean, REST APIs. But I mean, if you are expecting that, okay, I should learn everything, like if I'll be learning everything about REST API after doing the session, that's not correct actually. this course is for LoadRunner, so I mean real-time project. But yeah, there is basic. I mean, you can expect, right? So I'll be teaching all the different type of different question. In that, I'll be teaching Postman. So I'll giving a brief idea what is REST API, okay, what is SOAP APIs, and then we'll move on. So on a definition level, we'll be working on that, but not in depth.
Yeah, thank you.
Which language are you
Yeah,
using to develop the script?
I didn't get
Can
your
you hear
question.
me? Which language
Uh,
are you using to developing the script? Like Java, Python? Which language is required?
So for the custom coding, we'll be using C.
So only C language is required for the scripting development.
I mean, there it supports multiple languages, but I'll be whatever the custom coding that I'll be doing, I'll be using C. So I'll be explaining it to you. I mean, which you don't know, that is also okay. Basic I'll be covering, so in that part it will be covered. Okay, anyone, any question? Okay, no questions, right?
One last question. Actually, you said that we should be having a little idea on LoadRunner, right? So, like, I do not have that idea on like concepts of correlation and all. So, but there was a link shared where it was showing about like 17 videos in YouTube. So, if we go through them, like, do you think that we can able to accommodate whatever you are saying? I mean, what you are trying to say in the class? Could we try to understand that? Is it a? It should be a suffice one?
Okay, so you're talking about Isha, right? On the Isha, there are some videos are
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so for you, see, I'll tell you two things. So in a race, when you're running, okay, we create a line, okay, everybody will start running from here. Okay, so we know that by the end of this time everybody will finish. Okay, since you are lacking behind, so the only thing that you need to do is run faster. Basically, how do you run faster? Basically, you have to put more effort into. Okay, so let's say you are now stuck. There are people who do, they know a basic idea about, they have a basic idea about load runner, you don't have it. So you have to spend more hours when the classes are going on. So I think till 7 or 8 for 1.5 week, we are just going. I mean, we are understanding all these theoretical concepts. Okay, during this time, work on this scripting part. Okay, try to create the basic script, try to learn, understand correlation, parameterization. Okay, so by the time when actual scripting will come up, you will have a fair idea. But again, you it is you that you have to put the effort. You cannot think, okay, I mean, I'll be covering and I'll be creating out. You should have the knowledge. You should have, at least have a basic knowledge. If you have doubts, we can clear it up. But yeah, you have to put that much amount of effort. If you are ready to do that, I think you should go ahead and join. Otherwise, I mean, that is your call.
Okay, thank you.
yeah. I
Okay,
have one
fine.
last question. Yeah,
Yeah, Madan.
yeah. Do we get the recording videos every day once class
Every
is
day
over?
class. Yeah, all the classes that happens, it will be recorded. You will have the recording with you. You can watch it anytime. I mean, that's a lifetime access. You can watch watch it anytime as per your will.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, no questions, right? So I'll set the expectation for every one of you. So as a instructor, it is my duty. It will be my duty to teach you in the best possible way. Or let's say the things that I have shown, maybe in the duration of this course, I felt that okay, I might need to add few things. So I'll be adding that. Okay, that is up to me. It is my responsibility to make sure that you learn by the end of this course. Okay, but as a what is your responsibility as a student? So it is your responsibility to make my life miserable. When I say miserable, and it means ask the good right questions and don't let me go until you understand. Okay, so if I'm explaining something, if it's relevant to the topic, make sure you stop me then and there itself. You're not getting it, okay, do not let me go. It should not happen that okay, I have covered few topics, then you're going back, sir, I didn't understand whatever what you taught in the last two classes. Can you please explain it again? So that should not be the case. Okay, ask then and there itself. Okay, do some research on your own, try to read about things on the internet. Okay, and have the doubt and ask those doubt in the class. Okay, if you do that, you will get the maximum benefit out of this course. And believe me, I mean, if people who are already working, they do very well in their project, and there are people who are there non-IT, they got jobs also. So that is because of their efforts, not because of me. They kept doing the hard work they were supposed to do. All I did basically told them, okay, just walk in this particular direction, and they did it. Okay, so in the end, it is all up to you. I can only guide you, and it is your job to make sure that you get a maximum benefit from me by asking right questions. Okay, so that is expectation that I set for you and me as well. um, Rest, anyone has any doubt, we can clear it up, otherwise we'll end the session.
Do we have any system requirements to install this tools like LoadRunner and other?
Windows, you should have Windows laptop.
Windows, but like this what you call CPU configuration, RAM configuration.
You have 8 GB, right? 8 GB of memory.
Yes,
Then it's okay.
I think it's 6 GB, not 8 actually.
Then you'll have your system hanging, but I think that should not be a trouble. Okay, so what is, I mean, yeah, that should not be a trouble. I think you can run little, I mean, small scripts and with a smaller user load, and then you can do the analysis on your own. So learning wise, I don't think it's a blocker.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Fine. Anyone, any question? Otherwise, I'll end the session. Fine, guys. Thanks for joining. I hope you like the session. Tomorrow we'll start with the first topic, that is performance in life cycle. I hope to see you all. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.